Well, students, JEE Main 2025 January attempt is just over. Students are wondering which shift is easier, which shift is tough, what will be the expected cutoff for the JEE Advanced, what will be the marks versus percentile scenario. So many questions are going through students' minds. So today in this session, we'll discuss about each and every shift in detail. We'll discuss about each subject in that shift. I will tell you whether the shift was easy, moderate or difficult. In the end, I will give you the order of the toughness of each shift, and this is based on the data given by our own Shri Chaitanya students. Let's discuss about 22nd January shift 1 paper. So let's start with physics part. So physics paper was easy to moderate, but it was way better than 2024 paper. Chemistry was again doable, some questions were tricky, but overall it was easy to moderate. And maths was as usual moderate, but lengthy calculations were involved. There were scoring opportunities for the students if the students has selected the question well. So overall the difficulty level of this paper was moderate, and yes, the cutoff will be slightly higher for this shift. Now let's discuss about 22nd January shift 2, that is evening shift. So physics paper was again easy to moderate. Very few problems were lengthy, but mostly questions was asked that was formula based. So it was normally easy to moderate paper. Chemistry was very easy like 2024. All the questions were generally doable and directly from NCERT. Maths was as usual, it was lengthy, calculative, few scoring opportunities was there, but again it was a lengthy paper. But overall this shift was rated as easy to moderate shift, and it was easier than 22nd January shift 1. So let's discuss now about 23rd January shift 1. So this paper was better than 22nd January both the shifts. Physics paper was better than 22nd January both shifts. Some lengthy questions, tricky questions were asked, but still the paper was completely doable, but still the questions was little bit on the trickier side. Chemistry was doable, but some questions were tricky and tough and better than the previous both shifts. And maths was again very calculative than 22nd January both shifts. So it was again a lengthy paper. Some questions were doable like 7 to 8 questions, but remaining questions were lengthy as well as tricky. So this shift was rated as moderate to tough. Now let's discuss about 23rd January shift 2. So physics was the easiest of all. So very easy, completely formula based. Direct questions were asked just like 2024. Still 2-3 problems were on the calculative side. Chemistry section A was easy, but section B was really tough. So chemistry was difficult on 23rd January shift 2, and maths was again moderate but very lengthy, very calculative problems were given, but there were some good scoring opportunities. In short, the difficulty level of this shift was moderate to tough. Let's discuss about 24th January shift 1. So this was among the one of the toughest shift of January, better than 22nd January both the shifts and 23rd January both the shifts. So physics was some doable problems were there, some questions were calculative, but the weightage of the chapters was very unusual, like more optics questions was asked and less of mechanics was asked. Chemistry, again some very nice questions were asked. Physical section, the physical chemistry section was tough and more organic questions was asked, so it was way more difficult. And maths was again very lengthy, very calculative, and few problems were really tough and tricky. So 24th shift 1 was rated as tough. Now let's discuss about 24th January shift 2. So it was more or like on the same page as 22nd and 23rd January shift. Physics was little bit questions were tricky, but questions were asked from the mixed weightage, like mixed questions was asked. Chemistry was again easy. Section B was on the little bit better side. Some calculative questions were asked, and maths was as usual again very lengthy. Some scoring opportunities was there, but this shift was rated as moderate. Now let's discuss about 28th January shift 1, and here comes the shock. This was one of the most difficult shift of January attempt. Physics was the most difficult, very calculative, some out of the syllabus questions were asked. Chemistry was very good inorganic questions, some nice level questions were asked in 28th January shift 1, and maths was again very lengthy and tough questions were there. Few scoring opportunities was there, but yes, it was very lengthy. So overall 28th shift 1 is the toughest out of all the 10 shift. So cutoff will go definitely lower. Now let's discuss about 28th January shift 2. It was more or like on the same page like 28th January shift 1, still on the easier side comparatively to 28th January shift 1, but it was, yes, it was the one of the toughest paper of January attempt. In fact, you can say second toughest paper. The physics was unexpected, weightage was there, weightage was unusual, optics questions were more, not mixed questions were not asked. Chemistry was moderate side, and maths is very lengthy and very tough numerical section was there. So hence this shift is the second toughest out of all 10 shifts. Let's discuss about 29th January shift 1, which is the last day of your JEE Main exam. So in physics, good conceptual questions was asked, assertion reason questions were there. Some say it is one of the easiest shift, but I don't think so, because chemistry was definitely easy and doable, but numerical section was tough. Physics, good conceptual question were asked, and maths was as usual very lengthy, but some doable questions were there. So overall this shift was rated as moderate to tough. So now let's discuss about 29th January shift 2, the last shift, and this shift was again moderate to tough shift. The physics was easy, but some tricky and lengthy questions were asked as usual. Chemistry looks easy, but it was very tricky, some lengthy questions and some very tricky questions were asked. And maths was again very calculative, very lengthy calculations were asked, and section B was very difficult. So this was more or like moderate to tough, but slightly on the tougher side. Now in the end, let's discuss about the difficulty order in the decreasing manner. So the most difficult shift was 28th shift 1. After this, it was slightly easy, 28th shift 2. Then comes 24th shift 1. Then 29th shift 2. Then 23rd shift 1. After that, 23rd shift 2. Then 29th shift 1. Then 24th shift 2, and the last two easiest shifts was 22nd January shift 1, and the most easiest was 22nd January shift 2. So students, this was all about January attempt detailed analysis. I wish you all the best for your result and for your April attempt.